Hare Krishna, Mataji and Prabhuji. So we are starting Bhagavad
Hare.
Gita today. Arjun Vishad Yoga, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So all of you have done level 1, so basic idea of what happened in the battle of Kurukshetra and what was the basic content of chapter 1, all of you know, I believe. So we'll proceed with it. Before we proceed, let us pray to Shri Radha Govindji, the presiding deity at ISKCON Temple, Bangalore, and also pray the blessings of His Holiness, His Grace, Shri Namnist Prabhuji, the temple president at ISKCON Bangalore. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Gyananjan Shalakya Chakshur Unmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedant Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarne. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Chityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yut Pad Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sarvajatam Sahaganas Raghunath Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Sacha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता श्री राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome again. So we know Srila Prabhupada, in the first sitting we discussed about glory. When we talk about glories of holy name, then we mentioned the life history, a brief biography of Srila Prabhupada, that at the age he was a grahast, he took sannyas. Initially he took initiation, then he took sannyas, and then he started his journey to Vrindavan. He stayed there in Radha Damodar temple, which just overlooks the Samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami. And thereafter he went to America. At the age of 69, he traveled through a cargo ship with 65 rupees, 66 rupees, 64 rupees in his pocket to US. And knowing not where he is going to stay, what is he is going to do and how. But the journey was intended to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati, because he had asked Prabhupada to spread message of Lord Krishna to English-speaking world, and also if he had money, then publish certain books also, scriptural books also, and his commentary. So he had 2 heart attacks. We all of us know that he had 2 heart attacks while traveling to New York. But the determination and the faith in compliance of, his guru's orders gave him his strength to travel on down. And then he settled down in the most, say, so-called, difficult place, that was the company of hippies who were addicted to all kind of vices. And there he started this Hare Krishna movement. And he published, more than 800 commentaries and books written. And also he traveled 14 times around the globe in 8 years period, spreading. He built 108 temples of Sri Radha Govindji world over. And this is how there were millions of devotees following him all over the world, at all along wherever he was traveling to. So a great achievement. In fact, he was a pure devotee of Krishna, and that is the message here. And this commentary has been, that is why I recommend to you that please read this book. The Gita has been made so simple, and yet originality has been maintained. That is most important. If you don't want to get a book set of all the books, please buy just one book from ISKCON Bangalore, or wherever you are. If there is a ISKCON temple nearby, please get one copy of it. It is so easily available. So Gita is basic practical preaching book. One must study Bhagavad Gita inside outside, and that will help govern our external activities. It brings about transformation in your attitude, in your day-to-day activities. One must understand the flow of philosophy and not in isolation. Cohesive unit fits together. Bhagavad Gita. What is the meaning? Can anybody explain what is the meaning of this word?
The song of Bhagwan, Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad
Gita
means
means
God.
the
Bhagwan,
Bhagavad means
song.
Bhagwan.
Gita is Gita. So there is a continuity in the flow right from chapter 1 to chapter number 18. The theme is gradually progressing. So it is not in isolation that you can understand any chapter. You have to read right from the beginning. So that is the cohesiveness of this. And it was Lord, Krishna's compassion only. That Gita has got a tremendous high place in all over the world, not in India only. Shankaracharya describes Gita as a river of nectar. He wrote Gita Govinda. Then history of Mahabharata is next given there. We will come to it. And Arjuna's denial of war, Lord speaks out Gita out of compassion for living being. It is not just for Arjuna that he is narrating Gita. It is for the welfare of entire human race on this planet. So the application of philosophy and the practicality of our day-to-day life is for every human being. Now, this is just I will give a very brief account of Kuru dynasty. Most of you know that, King Kuru dynasty begins with Shantanu. Shantanu was a king and he married Ganga. Ganga was one of the most beautiful lady of that time. And when he married, there was a condition put by Ganga that whatever child I bear for you, I shall not retain in the palace, and I shall flow it in the river. And this was the condition she put, that if you ask me why, then I will quit you. Now, Shantanu was so much attached to Ganga that he let it happen. Now, 7 children passed, flown away in the river. Bhishma was the 8th child. But incidentally, Shantanu in his heart was so grieved because he wanted to know why she is doing so. So Bhishma asked Shantanu asked Ganga, why are you doing this? So that bow that she has taken was broken that way, and ultimately Ganga quit Shantanu. Satyavati was another wife. We know that Shantanu had 2 wives, and prior to marriage with Shantanu, Satyavati had her husband as Parashar. That is, she had relationship, but not really married. Then Vyasdeva was born out of Satyavati and Parashar. You can see here this arrow. Solid arrow represents they had a husband-wife relationship, and dotted lines here represent that there was no physical contact between the husband and wife, and the child was born out of niyog. Niyog is a word which is used in Sanskrit. It means that just by dint of the willpower, the baby is born. So we'll come to it anyway. So dotted line has a different meaning. Solid line means direct relationship. So Shantanu, now Bhishma he took a vow. We all know Bhishma Pratigya, that he will never marry. In fact, Bhishma helped Shantanu in getting married to Satyapati, basically. He was a grown-up child by that time. And Bhishma, seeing the condition of other children, knowing about other brothers and sisters, what happened, he took a vow that he will not marry. And second vow was that he will remain loyal all through his life to the throne of Hastinapur. He will be very, very loyal to the Kuru dynasty, and of course to whoever sits on the throne of who is crowned as a king of Hastinapur. Then what happens? Shantanu and Satyavati. Now they had 2 children. First was Chitrangada, and second was Vichitravirya. They both were boys. Chitrangada died before he even could marry in a battle. So he could not marry. There was no issue from him. Then second was Vichitravirya. Now Vichitravirya was second son. he married Ambalika. So these are two wives of Vichitrabhira. But the problem was Vichitrabhira had a problem and he could not bear a child. That was the thing here. So Vyasdeva, he prayed to Vyasdeva and permitted Ambika and Ambalika to have children from Vyasdeva. And just now I mentioned that Vyasdeva, through Niyog with Ambika and Ambalika, the children were born. So through, this Niyog, Vichitravir and Ambika, they gave birth to Dhritarashtra. And with Ambika, Pandu was born. Dhritarashtra was the father of Duryodhana, we know. He married Gandhari. Dhritarashtra married Gandhari. And Gandhari's brother was Shakuni. This is mentioned here. They had their blood relationship. And Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they born 100 sons, Duryodhan, Dushana, Dushasan, and 98 other sons. This is Kuru dynasty. This is Kauravas here, this side. And here you can see the Vichitravira. He gave birth to Pandu. Pandu stands for Pandavas. The Pandava lineage comes from Pandu. Pandu married two, Kunti and Madri. First, Kunti. Let us take Kunti. Kunti was a very beautiful and young girl. Then her father had sent to Durvasa Muni to do this services to Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni was very much impressed by Kunti's services. So he was very, very happy with her. So after Durvasa Muni gave her a mantra that whomever demigod you pray for, you can have a son from or a child, baby or child from that demigod. So just she was young and she was innocent. She was not very intelligent at that time. So out of curiosity, she prayed to Lord Sun God that mantra was spoken. Sun God immediately appears and wants to have a physical relationship. She refuses that, no, I am virgin, I can't do this. So but by virtue of a mantra that had the potency of having a baby, so Karn was born. Now, when she was young, unmarried girl, when Karn is born, she wanted to hide it from his family members so that others may not know it. So what she did, she just put her in a basket covered with flowers and cloth and let it flow in a river. And this was called for a charioteer who ultimately cared for this child. And Duryodhan later on, Duryodhan gave one of his land or kingdom, and here he was made a ruler. This is about the story of Kunti. Then about Pandu. Pandu, second wife was Madri. From Kunti and Pandu, as a married husband-wife, Yudhishthir, Bhim, and Arjun were born. But in fact, Pandu was again not able to produce children. So what he does, Kunti was prayed to different demigods. She prayed to Dharmaraj, Yudhishthir was born. She prays to Vayu god, Bhima was born. And she prayed to Indra, and Arjuna was born. That is through mantra only, but the relationship was here. So then Pandu married second wife was Madri. From Madri, Nakul and Sahadev came. The issue was that Madri died this Pandu died at an early stage, and Madri committed self-immolation or sati along with the pyre of Pandu, her husband. So this is how story. But Madri at that time offered Nakul and Sahadev and also requested Ma Kunti that please take care of my children. They are very young. And at that time, they were this Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, and Sahadev were very young. So she took care of these children. And though she did not bear these children, but Nakul and Sahadev in particular, she cared for them, and she grew into a very nice warriors and noble persons. Vyasadev had by Niyog from a Dasi, Vidur was born. Vidur, we know, he was the court Brahmin or court Pandit of Raja Dhritarashtra. Now, Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, Sahadev, all of us know which they married Draupadi. And from Arjuna, Subhadra was born, and Nakul, Subhadra and Abhimanyu were born, and Abhimanyu married Uttara, Maharaja Parikshit, and his son was Janmejaya. Then Subhadra was sister of Lord Krishna and Lord Balram. So this is brief account of the dynasty of Kuru. We will come through this relationship again and again. We know they were young, so the Dhritarashtra became the king. Pandu was already dead, and Dhritarashtra had a very partial attitude towards his own sons and the sons of Pandu, though they were cousins, first cousins, and both belong to Kuru dynasty basically. So this is, and he then he takes over the throne of Hastinapur, and when they are asked, because they were very wicked people, Duryodhana and others, so these were sent to forest. When they grew up, they came back and they claimed their right of kingdom. That was refused. Even Krishna wanted to mediate between the two parties, and he just begged for just 5 villages only for 5 Pandavas, so they can live peacefully and they will not interfere in your kingdom of Hastinapur. But Duryodhan was very, very, evil person. He did not even agree for 5 land equal to 5 grains, not even 5 inches he wanted to give. So this is how the conflict starts, and this we shall be coming to know about it. So this Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 is divided, basically entire Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 sections. First 6 chapters deal with Karma Yoga. We know all our actions, and then 7 to 12 relate to Bhakti Yoga, and 13 to 18. Can anybody, by raising his hand, tell me what are the 5 major themes which have been discussed in Bhagavad Gita? Anyone? Please raise your hand. Chanda Mataji, you have raised your hand. Can you answer?
What do you ask, Prabhuji?
What are the main 5 themes which have been discussed in Bhagavad Gita, entire 18 chapters?
As the first chapter only, it talks about the karma yoga, the action. Karma, then the bhakti, then jnana, and karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga.
That is
So
not
that is the chapter which is divided, and the
no, that
main
is not
chapter of how to live.
No, Mataji, that is not the answer. Anyone else would like to answer? 5 important
भगवान
themes.
प्रकृति
Yes, Khushbu Mataji.
वो कंपैशन उस टाइप का तो नहीं कुछ मतलब कंपैशन एंड 5 सोल एंड प्योर सोल बॉडी कुछ I forget.
It's not like this. There are 5 important themes which have been dealt with in entire Bhagavad Gita. First is Jeev, the living entity.
जीव yes
Second is Ishvara, the God. Right? Third is Prakriti or material nature. Fourth is soul. And 5th is Kal, time. So time, action, Jiva, Ishvara, and Jiva, Ishvara, Kal, Ishvara, and material nature, which is called as Prakriti. These 5 themes are discussed in the Bhagavad Gita. These are 5 points. So in the first 5 chapters relate to Bhakti Yoga. Now it is a song of God. Why Bhakti Yoga is in the middle and not Gyan should have come, then Karma, or probably Karma should have come, then Gyan, and then last should have been Bhakti. But we know when a king is traveling with his army, so there is an advance party, security party, which is traveling ahead of him, and then king is traveling in the middle, and the last are the followers. So that is how the bhakti is the most important aspect, and the karma yoga and gyan yoga both are directed towards bhakti, because how one can attain bhakti or devotional service through karma, and how one can reach perfection of bhakti yoga through jnana. That is why bhakti yoga is from chapter 7 to 12. So the following reasons are given. As you can see, bhakti is rahasya. It is very secret, and when there is something very secret, we keep it in our locker. We keep it at the most safe place. So that is why the safe place is the middle of the Bhagavad Gita. And it is essence of all scriptures. essence of all scriptures means that whatever knowledge you can get spiritual knowledge from anywhere, all the Vedas, all the Shastras, all the Purans, all other scriptures, Puran and Sahitas. So that is the essence. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of everything. So the purpose of as somebody told yesterday, Samataji, that purpose of knowing Veda is to know Krishna himself. So that is the Bhakti Yoga part. Then Karma and Jnana Yoga are dead without Bhakti. Hence, surrounded by both, Bhakti gives life to Karma and Jnana Yoga. What are karma? What we understand by karma? The fruitful activities we do are our karma. Basically, that is the significance. The karma can again be three types. It can be akarma, it can be vikarma, or it can be just simple karma. Karma stands for fruitful activities, the activities for which we want some kind of benefit or results. Akarma means we don't want any kind of any material benefit or advantage out of our fruit, out of our activities. We offer it to Lord Krishna. So this is our akarma. And vikarma is just opposite. Vikarma means that activities which are not sanctioned by scriptures. They are against the injunctions of spiritual scriptures or shastras. So karma are fruitful activities basically. And they are basically defined in Bhagavad Gita as prescribed duties. Like Varnashrama we discussed, the Brahmins have 9 prescribed duties, Kshatriya have 7 prescribed duties, Vaishya have got 3 prescribed duties, and Shudra has only 2. So those are prescribed duties that is considered to be karma. And bhakti, of course, devotional service, we know, offering everything to Lord, serving Lord lovingly through all our 6 senses, that is bhakti yoga. And Jnana Yoga is essential because unless without Jnana, we do not know how to attain Bhakti. So Jnana Yoga is last talked about. Generally, we do not disclose anything which is secret until we become intimate. And hence, out of respect, Bhakti is placed in the middle. Now, in Karma Yoga, mostly it is Arjuna asking, and many questions he is asking because he is very confused, seeing in the battlefield his own relatives to fight with and kill them. So he is asking many, many things. And what kind of, he is getting knowledge of, Lord Krishna is giving knowledge regarding various types of karma and their effect. Then Bhakti Yoga, Lord Krishna then speaks about Bhakti Yoga. And then after all, how this Bhakti can be attained through Jnana, that is given in chapter 13 to 18. So this is basic concept of Bhakti that Lord has, the Gita has been divided into 3 parts. Now, whatever we are going to learn from chapters from 1 to 18, that is prominently derived from what these saints and sages and gurus have mentioned. Sripad Ramanujacharya, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, and from Srila Baldev Vidyabhushana and Srila Sridhara. So this is here. And if we know that there are 18 chapters, and Bhagavad Gita was spoken in 45 minutes. 800 verses are there, and out of these, 700 verses are there, and out of 700 verses, Lord Krishna has spoken 82% of them, that is 574 verses, and Arjuna has spoken 84 verses, which is only 20%. Dhritarashtra has spoken once only, that is 0.1%, and Sanjay has spoken 41 verses. This is 5.9 verses. So out of total verses of Bhagavad Gita, mostly it is Lord Krishna who is talking about. And Lord Krishna, so far as his names are concerned, in Bhagavad Gita, 68 different names he has been addressed by 68 different names. And Arjuna, Lord Krishna and others have addressed Arjuna by 23 different names. We'll come to them. So chapter 1 has got, as I mentioned, 2 sections. First is verse number 1 to 27, introduction, that is preparations for war. And from 28 to 46, Arjuna's doubt. We know what kind of preparation is going on, who are the warriors on both sides, how they are going to fight, or their formation of this battlefield. Everything is described up to 27, and from 28 to 46, Arjuna is now he's compassionate, he is indecisive, he thinks that killing the other my own relatives, gurus and elders will result into sinful reactions, and also when elders are killed, the family traditions will be lost. And so all these are his doubts and why he should fight. In fact, he surrenders that he is not going to fight to Krishna. But what happens, we'll come to know gradually. Now, in the section 1, again, there are 3 subsections. 1 to 13, Sanjaya informs King Dhritarashtra of Duryodhana's appraisal of relative fighting strengths of Pandavas and Kuru armies, and Bhishma and the Kuru army then loudly blow their conch shells, giving Duryodhana joy. So we'll come to this section. And then 14 to 29, to 14 to 19, on the other side, the blowing of Krishna and Arjuna's transcendental conch shells, as well as the blowing of conch shell of the bird. So first is preparation, how they are lined up, who is leading whom. Then the battle starts with blowing of conch shell, and the first person to blow the conch shell was, who was the first person who blew the conch shell? Does anybody remember for level 1?
Sun, Surya.
Mataji, in the battlefield, not Surya.
Sanjay and Arjun.
No, Mataji, you are mistaken. Anyone else would like to try? No problem.
Krishna himself?
No, Bhishma was the first person.
Bhishma.
Bhishma, he was the eldest,
Yes,
on
yes.
the Kaurva. He was leading the Kaurva side. So conch shell was first blown by Bhishma. Thereafter, of course, we'll come to it. In section 3, 20 to 27, Arjuna requests Krishna to draw his chariot between the 2 armies to observe the Kurus. Of course, not only Kurus, he wanted to see compare his strength against the strength of Kurus and their formation. Arjuna sees many relatives and well-wishers on both sides, and that is what results in confusion in his mind. Why you should fight? It's better to beg. It's better to beg and live, go to forest and beg and live, earn a livelihood, rather than kill my own gurus, for grandfather and my friends, my brothers, my cousins, and all those warriors. So this is how it starts now. In fact, wherever there is a place, I shall request you to read. Meanwhile, does anybody remember the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1? Any Mataji or Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes. Dubeji, please come on.
Yeah. Dharam Kshetra, Kuru Kshetra, Samavet, Mama Haka Pandava.
Yeah,
I've written.
it's like this. No problem.
Yes, sir.
Any other person?
Akrur Vasta Sanjaya.
Yeah. Yes, anybody
No.
would like to try?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
May I?
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Sure.
अथ प्रथमो अध्यायः. First shloka is by Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmashetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamakaha pandavascheva kim kurvat Sanjaya.
Thank you. Very nicely recited. Thank you. So, Kim Kurbat Sanjaya. Now, army of Duryodhan has gone to the battlefield, of course, to fight. What did they do? He is very, very confused and doubtful. Many, thoughts are coming in the mind of Dhritarashtra. He was blind. We know he was blind since birth. Not only blind physically, but also spiritually also he was blind. And not only he was blind, all his sons, including Duryodhana and other persons, they were also not having any kind of respect for religion. So they were also blind to the religion. So the entire Kaurav army or the leaders were blind basically because they were on the wrong side. They had overtaken the kingdom from the rightful owners who were Pandus basically. So Dharma Kshetre, what are the fear? Now, Dharma Kshetre, Kuru Kshetre. Why it is called Dharma Kshetre? Anyone?
those who follow the right path, the dharma.
Okay.
Because Guruji, this fight was actually, I mean, this war was actually for the dharma sanstapna, as the yada yada in dharmasya, this shloka, as
Yeah.
Bhagavan Shri Krishna has said.
So Kurukshetra is basically a very holy place. It is a place where even demigods come down for doing worship. Secondly, it is a place of pilgrimage. Thirdly, in Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna himself was present, who is the father of religion. So it becomes Dharmkshetra. It became Dharmkshetra because Lord Krishna was present here. And fourthly, the Kauravas were on wrong side. They were on path of adharma, as just now Mataji told. And the rightful owners of the Pandu were very justified. They did not want to shed blood. They didn't want battle. They sent, Krishna went to, Kauravas to get a mediation and of course get a solution to this their fight. But Kauravas, they were so greedy, so partial, that they did not give even 5 inches of land. So Lord Krishna, why it is Dharmkshetra? Because Lord Krishna himself was present, who is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Secondly, it is a place of worship. Even the denizens of heaven, they come there for worship. Thirdly, it is a place of pilgrimage. Fourthly, Pandavas were righteous. They were on the path of Dharma. So, and lastly, Bhishma and Drona, they were also saintly people. Bhishma, I told you, Bhishma was, he has taken a vow that he will not, he will always be with the throne of Hastinapur, and he will be loyal and always following the whoever ruler is there. So Bhishma was committed to the throne, though he was not in favor of war or the battle between two. And Drona was saintly, because we'll come to it why he is being called saintly, right? Drona was a Brahmin, a highly evolved Brahmin, a super soul kind of person, very elevated. So these people have a natural tendency not to fight, but battle may not take place. They want it, but they cannot satisfy selfish desire to rule over the kingdom of Kauravas. Kauravas, in fact, they were bent upon fighting. Now, can anybody tell why Bhishma and Drona sided with Duryodhana? And why Duryodhana was very confident that Drona and Bhishma, they will always be with Kauravas. They will support in the battle, Kauravas.
Prabhuji, in the previous slide, you told that Bhishma ji was loyal to the throne.
Yes.
So, Kuru dynasty throne. So, that is why they sided
Yes.
Duryodhan.
Mataji, as we go ahead and for Bhagavad Gita, we'll find a lot of evidence here. In Bhishma, in fact, Bhishma and Drona both, firstly, they were financially dependent on Kauravas. They were paid. Secondly, Bhishma himself was very loyal. He had taken a vow to be loyal to the throne of Hastinapur. Thirdly, Bhishma did not object when gambling match was proposed by Duryodhana. As an elder, he should have objected. This is not a fair thing. Fourthly, when Draupadi was being, when game was going on, he did not object at that time. He did not stop. And fifth point is that when Draupadi was being destroyed and was being humiliated by Kauravas, both of them kept quiet. So that is why Duryodhan was very, very confident that Bhishma and Drona, they will. In fact, Drona liked Arjuna the best. He was the best disciple. And second best disciple whom he considered was Drashtadyumna. I think you know who was Drashtadyumna? Anybody knows it?
Brother of Draupadi.
Yes, Mataji, Draupadi. And they were both children of King Drupad.
Drupad.
King Drupad had two, Draupadi and Drashtadyumna. So Drona was very, very, we know earlier we have from the incarnations we know that Parashuram trained Bhishma and Drona both in the art of battlefield and worship. So warfare. So this is the 5 reasons which Duryodhan was confident that Bhishma and Drona will side with Kauravas and they will help in fighting. So Dhritarashtra was very fearful about influence of holy place on outcome battle. Now there are many points here. Dhritarashtra, first, he was desperate. What Kim Kurvat Sanjaya. Sanjay, all of you know that he had the divine vision by mercy of Vyasdeva. He could see things happening far, far away. Today we have television set. We can see things happening live on our screen, millions of miles or kilometers away. But Sanjaya at that time had the divine vision, which was granted by Vyasdev, so that he could see what is happening in the battlefield. So that is now Duryodhan has with the army, and Dhritarashtra is sitting in his palace talking to Sanjaya. As the Dhritarashtra knew that they have gone for a battle, for a fight. So what did they do? He was very apprehensive. Now there are a couple of psychological facts about Dhritarashtra here. He was very, very desirous. He was desirous that that Duryodhan and his sons should retain the kingdom. He was very doubtful because he was not sure. Krishna was on the side of Pandavas, so probably victory may not be on the side of Kauravas. And he was very, very fearful also. Fearful because the battle was taking in the place of Kurukshetra, where the Lord of Dharma or protector of Dharma, Lord Krishna, was himself present. So he was very, very fearful that outcome may not be favorable. And fourthly, he was very hopeful also. Why he was hopeful? He was hopeful that probably Pandavas are virtuous persons. They would not like to kill their own elders and teachers and brothers and other cousins. So probably they may go for a compromise. So this is going on in the mind of Dhritarashtra. As I told you, he is not only physically blind, he is spiritually blind also. And all his sons are so ignorant, they are also blind because they do not know the basic principles of religion. So that is why now he is confused. And this is the only sentence, only sloka which Dhritarashtra, Dharm Kshetre Kurukshetre, Kim Kurvat Sanjaya, Dharm Kshetre Kurukshetre, samveta yusava mamka pandavaschaiva kim kurvat Sanjaya. So he knew that the influence of holy place of Kurukshetra will have a bearing on this battlefield, and in the heart of his hearts he knew that his sons are going to lose this battle. So the key points in this verse number 1 is how to understand Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra's fears and concerns regarding Dharmkshetra, and Dhritarashtra distinguishes Pandavas from Kurus. Now, Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva. Mamaka means he is making a division between his sons and the sons of Pandu. Basically, they belong to same family, Guru dynasty. So that means he is partial, he is selfish in his approach towards the whole issue. Then Dharm Kshetri and distinguishes Pandavas from, that means he wants his son who are unworthy of ruling to continue to be rulers. Then fear and concerns, I have told you those 4 points regarding that he was hopeful, he was desirous, he was fearful, and he also was, very, very confused and fearful also and doubtful also. So how to understand Srimad Bhagavad Gita? As we have been emphasizing, we must understand Bhagavad Gita from disciplic succession. Person who have learned Bhagavad Gita in a disciplic manner, like that power cable or the charger of a cell phone. Uninterrupted flow from source to down to the person who is receiving. Second method, correct method of understanding Srimad Gita is that we should hear from not only spiritual master. Second point is through elevated or pure devotees. Third, we should not have any kind of interpretations from our own side. So these are some of the ways one should understand Srimad Gita, Bhagavad Gita. And that is why I am emphasizing we must have a copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is with commentary by Srila Prabhupada. So that's questions to Sanjay. What did they do? We have already explained what did they. Why he's asking? He knows they're going to fight with each other. So we come to verse number 2. If any Mataji or Prabhuji have got this book with themselves, can they recite first so that I can continue with it? Because both will take a lot of time.
Yes, Prabhuji. Can I read the second verse?
Yes, please continue.
So I need to read the shloka or
Only shloka, Mataji.
shloka.
I will
Yes.
explain.
Sanjaya uvacha दृष्ट्रात् तु पाण्डवानीकं व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुपसङ्गमय राजा वचनं ब्रवीत.
So Duryodhana approaches Dronacharya. Now after the lineup is there, both armies are facing each other. Then Duryodhana approaches Dronacharya after accessing military formation of the Pandavas. There are multiple types of military formations. Formations can be in the shape of a ring, it can be shape of a star, it can be in shape of a fish. So many formations are there. And Dronacharya was a person who taught both Kauravas and Pandavas the art of warfare and how to arrange armies in the battlefield and also fight. And Duryodhana addressed as king. Now Duryodhana, he's not the king. King is Dhritarashtra. But Duryodhana, after when he has seen the formation of Pandu's army and his own persons or the warriors on both sides, after examining their formation, their strength, comparing the strength and power, then he gets very much upset within his heart. He thinks that probably Pandus are superior and I'm going to lose. So just to elevate his mood, he is addressed as king so that he gets some self-confidence. So encouraged despondent King Dhritarashtra, the Sanjaya is now addressing Duryodhana as king. So that Sanjay could understand Dhritarashtra is already disturbed. He is very fearful, doubtful of the victory. So that is why Sanjay, very intelligent person, disciple of Vyasadeva, he addresses Arjuna, this Duryodhana as king, so that some depression goes off. Though Duryodhana is king, still he has to approach now. Anyway, let us accept that he is king. But the commander-in-chief was Dronacharya, so he should have reported to the king. On the contrary, Duryodhana himself, considering his weak position, he goes to Dronacharya. And what does he say? Yes, third shloka. Anyone else?
पश्यतां पाण्डुपुत्राणामाचार्य महतिं च मुं व्यूढां द्रुपदपुत्रेण तव शिष्येन धीमता.
तब शिष्येन धीमता. Now, these are very significant words. We'll come to it. Duryodhana is an expert politician and diplomat. What is the definition of diplomat or diplomacy? Politician.
But both sides, I mean, with both the parties. If two people are fighting with each other, so this is the person who actually tries to have a talk between the two and try to nullify the situation.
Diplomat is a person who is able to converse in such a manner with the other party so that he is able to convince his point of view. You are getting my point, Mataji? Now I have a prefixed idea in my mind. I want the person who is before me to do what I desire to him. So my diplomacy is to convince him through my arguments and conversation in such a manner so that I am able to get things done through him as I desire. So he was a diplomat because now he is a weak person. He has realized that Dhritarashtra knows very well. So opposing General Dhritarashtra is called by referred to as son of Drupada. Now, why Dronacharya is being reminded of Drupad? Does anybody know the story behind it?
it is there the story like between them some misunderstanding, or they were so close to each other and something happened by which they were annoyed with each other. uh, exactly I don't remember, but something it was there like that.
Come to it. In fact, what happened during Gurukul days, Drupad and Dronacharya were friends and they were together. Because of some misunderstanding or some issues, the enmity developed between Drupad and Dronacharya. And Drupad took a pledge that I will eliminate you and my son will eliminate you. So Drupad's son is Drashtradyumna. So he is a diplomat, Duryodhana. By referring to son of Drupad, he is reminding his enmity, Dronacharya's enmity with Drupada during those early days, that your son whom you trained, because Dronacharya is an elevated Brahmin, I told you, and he considered that Drashtradyumna is a proper disciple whom he should train, knowing very well that that Drupad has taken a vow that my son will kill Dronacharya. So virtually Dronacharya, trained in warfare the son of his enemy who was went upon, or he was sure to kill him himself. But being a pure Brahmin, he trained Drashtradyumna also in warfare. He trained everybody. He trained Duryodhana, he trained Arjuna. Arjuna was the dearest disciple for Dronacharya. So by calling Drashtradyumna as son of Drupad, he wanted to provoke or create anger in the mind of Dronacharya, so that he remembers his enmity with Drupada and also does not become lenient, because Drupad is his disciple. Arjuna is also his disciple, who is on the enemy side. So that is why he wanted to agitate the mind of Dronacharya, so that this is diplomacy, He could have simply called Drashtradyumna, but he said son of Drupada, so that Drona is reminded of his enmity with Drupad. So Drashtradyumna was trained by Dronacharya. See the result of his training. He wanted to point out, look, you have trained your disciple. Now he is there in the opposite camp, going to kill you and all of us. So Drashtradyumna is always disciple of Dronacharya. So being Guru is always an expert. Similarly, Pandavas are also trained by Dronacharya. He should not be lenient in fighting. So he wanted to ensure that Arjuna, being the most dear disciple of Dronacharya, and Drona being the commander of the army, he may not be lenient towards the Pandavas because they were dear to him. So this is the in fact diplomacy that he is playing. He is agitating the mind. He is reminding Drupad of his Dronacharya of his enmity with Drupad, and also that he should not be lenient and in the war, because Arjun being on the opposite side. So Duryodhana is an expert politician and diplomat. Though he's religiously he's blind person. He doesn't know what is right, what is wrong, because had he been right, then probably this war battle should not have taken place. And Duryodhana referring Drashtradyumna as son of Drupad. These are key points here. And Dhritarashtra distinguishes Pandavas from Kurus. We have told about this. And this we covered Akshuni Sena. Mataji, one of the Matajis referred to it. Akshuni, she gave a different meaning. Does anybody remember when Krishna went to Duryodhana for a compromise? What happened there? That pastime? I think anyway, to just cut it short, on behalf of the Pandavas, they requested, Yudhishthira, Arjuna, everybody requested Krishna to go to Duryodhana and please ask him so that, this battle does not take place. They were pious people. They were, religious people and righteous, for righteous cause they wanted war not to take place. So they sent Krishna to, so before Krishna Krishna goes there and he asks them not to, but he is not agreeable to any kind of, and when in the second pastime, when both Duryodhana and Arjuna also go to Krishna, when Krishna is sleeping, but Duryodhana reaches first, and he was very, proud. He had a lot of pride and about his strength and power and his, other opulences. So Krishna is sleeping, so he goes towards the head end of the bed and stands behind Krishna, sleeping Krishna. And Arjuna comes later on, so he finds sleeping Krishna. Then he, at the foot end, he sits down and waits for Krishna to wake up. So they both have come for certain purpose. I'll explain. Now, as soon as Krishna gets up, Krishna sees Arjuna first. So he asked Arjuna, why you have come here? Then immediately Duryodhana comes in the front and says, no, Krishna, I came first, so I have the first right to ask you for something. But Krishna said, look, I saw Arjuna first. You might have come before Arjuna, but I saw you first. So I will give first opportunity to Arjuna to ask whatever he wants to ask from me, or whatever he wants from me. So Arjuna asked that if the battle is going to take place, please be on our side. Then Krishna said, I will not lift any arm, or I will be with you people, but I will not lift any arm. I will not fight. Arjuna agreed. Arjuna knew the opulences of Krishna, that he is all powerful. By merely being with him, they are writing, they are fighting for the right cause. So that will give them enough strength. So then he goes back to Duryodhana. He says, okay, whatever you want to ask, please ask. So Duryodhana was, very, very proud person. So he asked for Akshuni Sena, and he asked for 11 Akshuni Senas, and these are Akshuni Senas, composition of a single Sena, and Arjuna asked on the Lord Krishna. So one Akshuni Sena has got so many chariots, elephants, horses, and foot soldiers. Army size was 7 with Pandavas. With Kauravas, it was 11 Akshuni Sena, and commander-in-chief was Drashtadyumna, the Pandavas, and here it was Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Salya, and Duryodhana. And Maharathis, or the warriors, 60,000 warriors with Arjuna was heading, and here Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and Ashwatthama, and Atirathis, 10,000 warriors, they were headed by these persons. So you can see in one Akshuni Sena, there are 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, as many elephants, 65,610 horses, and 109,350 foot soldiers. So type of division, this is how the formation of armies can be done, and this is description of all the divisions within the army. So then we come to verse number 4 to 6. Now Duryodhana is describing warriors of opposing army. So before Arjun comes in the middle, Duryodhana, after talking to Duryodhana, Dronacharya, he comes in the middle and he evaluates the opposite army, that is army of the Pandavas. So first of all, we know that Pandavas were writing not for material gains, but for the rightful things that they owned. And rightful thing was the kingdom of Hastinapur, because they were the rightful kings, the rightful, princes and rightful kings to decorate the throne of Hastinapur. They were fighting for a righteous cause. Whereas the Kauravas, you can see on the bottom side, they were already weak. Religion was not on their side, because Krishna cannot be on the side of a religion, because righteous cause but the Pandavas. So Pandavas, Bhim is put first. He saw him first, because Duryodhana knew that it is only Bhim who can defeat him. Now, going back to, we'll come to it anyway, Bhima, and then Arjuna was the most eligible disciple of Dronacharya. So he compares Bhim and Arjuna with Dronacharya and Bhishma. And both Bhim and Arjuna, they were trained by Dronacharya, and Bhishma was the grandfather of both of them. So he thinks that probably Dronacharya and Bhishma are much more stronger as compared to Bhima and Arjuna. Then Karna story. Now Kunti, I just now narrated how Karna was born and how was permitted to be flown into the river. Then when he is picked by Atiratha, that was the name of the charioteer who picked him up. So at that time, unique majesty was with Karna. He was covered with a, with a kavach, with a, armor all over his body, and he had Karna because he had earrings in his ears, right since the time of birth. So that is why his name was Karna. So, and Karna was a wonderful warrior. He was a very powerful warrior, and it was very difficult to beat him because he was son of sun god. Just imagine, Kripacharya. So these are the composition of other warriors on both sides. Now Duryodhana is addressing these as Maharathis. They are Maharathis. They are very, very powerful warriors. But because of Drona and Bhishma being with him during all his irreligious activities, that is disrobing of Draupadi, the cheating in the gambling match, even the proposal for gambling match, and they were paid and financially dependent Kauravas. So this Drona, Duryodhan was very sure that both of them are going to do their best. But internally, Drona and Bhishma knew that they are on a weaker side. So this is the story given up to 7 and 9. Duryodhana is in dilemma, whom to represent first. Now Dronacharya was a Brahmin, an elevated Brahmin. So, and he was Guru also. So he has been placed at number 1. Then the name of Bhishma, though Bhishma was the grandfather. So this is after watching or assessing the strength of both sides. This is the description of army by Duryodhana now strength of his army. Yes, Mataji, read verse number 10. Aparyaptam tadismakamam valam bhishma vabhirakshitam. Paryaptam. Yes, read it. Number 10.
Okay. Praptam तद्स्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितं पर्याप्तं त्वयिदमितेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम्.
So he says, after watching both the armies, now, when a person is weak and he knows that I am weak, he will try to pose as being strong, So this is what the status of Duryodhana is. Aparyaptam, immeasurable or insufficient, protected by Bhishma. He says, my army is aparyaptam. Aparyaptam is immeasurable. It is not insufficient. It is paryapt. Aparyaptam is immeasurable. It is beyond measure. He is just, boasting here himself, his morale, because he knows that things are going not to be in his favor. So he is protected by, the army is protected by Bhishma, because Bhishma was a very, very learned and most seasoned and eldest warrior on this side. And Pandavas are protected by Bhima. As compared to Bhishma, Bhima was just a fig in the battlefield, because Bhishma Pitamaha, his grandfather. He is most experienced and learned and most well-trained, highly trained in warfare as compared to Bhima. Bhima was proud of his bodily strength only. Of course, he knew warfare very well. So Duryodhana is envious of Bhima. Only he is capable of defeating him. Because as we come to know of the gambling match, that we learned that it was Bhima who challenged that he will break his thigh and kill Duryodhana. None else. Arjuna did not say any such thing. So Duryodhana was very scared of Bhima at this stage. Then verse 11 to 12, again, observing the armies of battlefield, Duryodhana requesting his army to support Bhishma. Now Bhishma is very old. By age, he is very old. He might be weak. Second point, he might be lenient in the battlefield. Thirdly, because his grandson and most loved person, Arjuna, was on the opposite side, so he might be, Fourthly, Pandavas, being very strong, might target Bhishma because Bhishma was their king person or the key person in the battlefield. So these points are there, and Duryodhana wanted to, Drona he has already irritated, Dronacharya. Now the second person is Bhishma. He wanted to ensure that Bhishma gets his due place. So what is he doing? Duryodhana is diplomat. We have already discussed. He thinks others in the army feel bad. So he is talking to Dronacharya. He is now talking to Bhishma. So others might think that probably we are little persons, so he is not addressing us. That is why he says the army common man should support Bhishma so that the moral is also boosted up. Bhishma is old man and needs support and protection. And Duryodhana, confident of support from Bhishma and Dronacharya as they supported him during gambling match. We have discussed, there were 4 points why he was certain that Bhishma and Dronacharya will support. Firstly, I told you, these points you have to remember, they might be part of your assignment. Firstly, they were financially dependent. Second point was they did not object to organization of gambling match between Kauravas and Pandavas, which was Duryodhana's proposal. Thirdly, they did not prevent Shakuni's cheating during the gambling match. Fourthly, they did not, both of them kept mum when, Draupadi was being humiliated by these persons. So he was very confident that they will support me. So Bhishma, out of compassion and to cheer Duryodhana, blew the conch shell very loudly. I just now told you it was Bhishma on the battlefield who blew this. Now, why Bhishma did it so? Because he knew very well that he is on a weaker side. Secondly, he knew that the Duryodhana is very, very upset. So just to boost up his morale and of course give him a strength or mental courage, he blew his this conch shell. Duryodhana knew that defeat is certain since Lord Krishna is on the other side. But he did not ask for Krishna. He asked for 11 Akshuni Sena from Krishna, which he very gladly gave. Now Bhishma fighting as a matter of duty. Why duty? Because I told you that he had taken a vow that he will be always faithful to the throne of Hastinapur. So that is why it was his duty to side with Kauravas in this case, because on the throne was Dhritarashtra, father of Duryodhana. The tumultuous sounds of conch shells, drums, bugles, and when the captain blows his conch shell, all the senapatis, all the team leaders, all the soldiers, they started blowing their. Now, what happens on the other side? So Bhishma starts the beginning of this war. Now, on the other side, Krishna and Arjuna, they blow their transcendental conch shell. The conch shell of Krishna and Arjuna, they were transcendental. They were not material like what Bhishma blew. Transcendental conch shell we know is the ornament of Lord Vishnu. We know that Shankh Chakra Kada, he is always holding in his 4 hands. So it was divine. And Krishna's conch shell name was Panchajanya. Arjuna's name was Devdatta. What was Devdatta? What is Devdatta? The other Dev we talked about. Anyone remembers? This will not work, Mataji.
Horse of Rama or horse of Kalki.
Yes. Who is that, Mataji? Your name, Mataji?
Riya.
Sheila, you're very right. The horse of Kalki Avatar shall be white and his name will be Devdatta. So Arjuna's conch shell was Devdatta. Now, and of course, Bhima was Paundra, and then Yudhishthira Ananta Vijay, Nakul Sugosha, and Sahadeva Mani Pushpaka. So these are 2 conch shells are divine. So when the divine conch shell is blown, victory is certain because it belongs to Lord Vishnu. So Madhava, Krishna is husband of goddess fortune. So whenever Krishna is present, the Ma Lakshmi is also there, always. And Ma Lakshmi is goddess of fortune. So good luck, Krishna, presence of Krishna, and good luck, good fortune, that is with the Pandavas. So both things, 2 auspicious signs that Pandavas are going to win this battle. So presence of Krishna, influence of Kurukshetra. Third, Krishna is husband of goddess of fortune. So Lakshmi is also, fortune is also there. Then the chariot was given by Agni Devta. And this chariot, wherever it will go, in whatever direction, all directions will be won in the battle. That was the beauty of this chariot. And it was given by Agni Devta. And it is also another attribute that how many number of arrows or deadly weapons may be fired upon this chariot, it will not break, or it will never catch fire. So that is the divine attribute of this chariot. And
the
it was,
chariot also is protected by Lord Hanuman.
yes, we will come to it, Mataji. There are many signs. When we talk about what are the auspicious signs, there are 8 signs here, So these 3 signs is okay. First, presence of Krishna. Second, the holy place of Kurukshetra. Third, whenever Krishna is there, goddess fortune is there. 3, chariot is given by Agni. Fourth, conch shell is divine, given by of Vishnu. It is transcendental. Fifth, that Lord Hanuman on the Pataka. We know Lord Hanuman helped Lord Rama in the war of battle against Ravana, and he was one of the most important person who was sent as a messenger to Sri Lanka, and he finished the Sri Lanka and got the news from Mother Sita. So with Krishna and Vishnu, Krishna's form is Rama, and Krishna's form here is himself is present. So Lord Hanuman is naturally there. And next point was that the Arjuna has Pashupati Astra. That was given by Lord Shiva. And Pashupati Astra is a very, very different type of conventional, different from conventional astras or weapons. And one had to had a rigorous training in its use, and it was capable of destroying all the targets wherever it was pointed to. So these are, and next point is that day was Mokshadai Ekadashi, the battle of Kurukshetra, battle of this Kurukshetra took place on Mokshadai Ekadashi. So all auspicious symbols were in the favor of Pandavas. So these are some of the points. In the purport, you can read both those points. I'm just limiting to some of them only. So these are the things which are very, very, significantly indicative of that victory of Pandava was certain. Then verse 15 to 18, Krishna, Arjuna, Bhima blowing their transcendental conch shell, we have discussed. In the purport, it is mentioned, when Krishna and Arjuna blew their conch shell, the hearts of Kauravas were shattered. What does it mean? The hearts were broken. They were so scared and frightened by hearing the divine conch sound of the conch shells which were blown by Lord Krishna and Arjuna. I'll give you just an example for an easy understanding. When there is a thief, right? He has taken away stolen some items. Now he is running on the road, and suddenly there is a vehicle with a siren passing by. What shall be the psychology of the thief? How will he feel? Anyone?
Police is approaching, Prabhuji, as if
Police is approaching. He will be frightened and scared, Maybe it is not police vehicle. Maybe it is just a passing ambulance. He will try to hide, and his heart will start beating. He will start perspiring, sweating, and he will be afraid that he might get caught. Right? So this is the psychology of Duryodhana here. All the Kauravas, not only Duryodhana, everybody, their hearts shattered. This is the word which has been used by Srila Prabhupada in his puppet. So their hearts shattered. Whereas when Bhishma blew, nothing happened. Not only their hearts shattered, even there was vibrations all over the universe, sky, earth, everything vibrated because of this divine sound. So this is how it is happening. Now we come to next. Now Lord Krishna's some names, and as I mentioned earlier, Lord Krishna has been addressed by 68 different names in entire Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna by 23 different names by Lord Krishna and others in Bhagavad Gita. Some of the names which we shall be using very frequently, I'll just very quickly go through. Krishna is all attractive. Word of Krishna means that he is all attractive, right? Rishikesha means he is master of senses. That is, he is not only master but controller and owner of the senses. So Krishna, Then he is called also Madhava because husband, Madhava is husband of goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Ma. So he is called Madhava. He is Achyuta, he never infallible. He is Akshara. He does not fall down from his transcendental position. Even if he appears in this material world, his body is still transcendental. It does not undergo 4 changes that our material body undergoes. Our material body undergoes birth, death, old age and disease. Jan Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Krishna never suffered from this kind of change. You know, a small baby is born and grows in adulthood and old age, and ultimately there is, you know, deprivation is his condition. He dwindles and ultimately vanishes. Krishna does not undergo such kind of, that he is Govinda, one who gives pleasure to the senses or cow. That is why Krishna is called Govinda. Vasudeva, because he was son of Vasudeva. Devaki Nanda, son of Devaki. Yashoda Nandan, because foster mother was Yashoda, so he is called as Yashoda Nandan. He is Parth Sarthi. Parth Sarthi, charioteer of Parth. Arjuna has been named a Parth. Does anybody know why Arjuna is called as Partha?
Son of Pritha.
Who was Pritha, Mataji?
Because
Pritha is Devi Kunti, Mata Kunti.
Mata Kunti name was Pritha. And how her name became Kunti thereafter?
I think as
Yes.
per her father's name, something like that. Like
Yes, very close to it. She was, in fact, basically her name was, in childhood name was Pratha. And then she was adopted by Kunti Bhoj, King Kunti Bhoj, who
correct.
gave this name Kunti. That is why he is called Kunti. And since he was son of Pratha, that is why he is called Parth Sarthi. Krishna is called Parth Sarthi. Arjuna is the charioteer is Krishna here. He is carrying Parth on his chariot. So that is why he's called as Parth Sarthi or Pratha, son of Pratha. Then Keshava, because he killed demon Keshi. Janardana, because he is maintainer of all living beings or entities, and he also killer of all entities. As we go on ahead, we'll know that he is the creator, he is the maintainer, and he is the alienator also. Not directly, he has appointed Brahma to do all these things. Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, they have been appointed as minister by Krishna to look after the creations, right? Then Dhananjaya. Why is called Dhananjaya? Anyone? Maharaja Yudhishthira wanted to do a big sacrifice, and he wanted to call all the kings and priests and sages and rishis and acharyas. So for that he needed money, and this task of collecting money was given to Arjuna. So that is, he collected that money, so that, and the sacrifice was completed successfully. That is why he is called as Dhananjaya. He collected, conqueror of wealth. And Partha, we have already discussed, is son of Pritha, the Kunti Devi Ma. And Gudakesha, because he conquers sleep. Sleep stands for, what did we learn about sleep in the level 1?
Ignorance.
Ignorance, yes, Mataji. And in fact, Gudakesha, Krishna is called as Gudakesha. He has conquered sleep, he never sleeps. And Bhatrodhara, so far as Arjun, when Arjun is addressed as Rishikesha or Gudakesha, then in case of Arjun, Gudakesha stands for because he had won over the sleep, and he was won over the ignorance also, because Krishna was always answering his questions, so ignorance was removed, Arjuna. And there is a pastime here, just a small story. And once Arjuna was sleeping in the lap of Lord Krishna. Then he was sleeping. That means when we sleep, we are almost unconscious. We don't know what is happening around us and or what we are doing basically. We sleep almost as if dead, except for breathing and heart or other body functions. So Gudakesha means here that Krishna, when he had won over the, Arjuna had won over the sleep, and that means ignorance also. So Krishna, what he does, he picks up one hair of Arjuna and brings it to his ear and listens. And that hair was single hair is also reciting name of Krishna, 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 Krishna. Even while sleeping, Arjuna was always remembering Krishna. So Krishna has addressed Arjuna as Gudakesha at number of places because he had not only conquered ignorance, because he was always chanting name of Krishna, and of course he had won over the sleep of ignorance. And Bakrodara, Bhima is called because he was a voracious eater. He could anything. In fact, there is an anecdote about him that when Krishna told Bhim that you should keep Ekadasi fast, he said, Krishna, I cannot live without eating. So, but I can keep one fast in a day, in 1 year. You know, there are 24 fasts in 1 year of Ekadashi. So Krishna's advised him, okay, then you do one fast only, and that is Nirjala Vrat. So Nirjala Vrat, you can't take even water on that day. A drop of water is prohibited. And there no, of course, cereals are not taken in Ekadashi Vrat, not even fruits, not even milk products, not even dry fruits, nothing can be taken, not even a drop of water. So this is about Bhima. Bhima was a voracious eater. Then we come to verse number 19, blowing became uproarious, shattered hearts of some of Dhartras, sons of Dhartras. They were all, their heart was shattered. I have already explained what does it mean by the giving an example of a thief who has stolen something and running away, and a police siren or siren of a vehicle. So Duryodhana team blew conch shell did not shatter Pandava's hearts because Krishna was with them. They were confident that we are righteous. We shall win this battle against our army is small, but Krishna is with us, and Krishna is father of religion. He is dharma personified in the form of Krishna himself. So wherever dharma is there, adharma cannot take place. So there was no fear in the heart of Pandavas when Bhishma blew or others blew there. So because, you know, Arjuna, when all the Pandavas, they had taken shelter of Lord Krishna, they were very confident, whether we win or lose, Krishna is with us. And Kaurava's heart was shattered because of fear, because they had a signs of defeat. Then we come to verse number 20, observing the armies on the battlefield. Arjuna, prepared to fight, asked Lord Krishna to draw a chariot between two armies. Now you see, Arjuna, till now, he is a friend of Krishna. He knows him as a friend. They have slept together, they have eaten together, they have cheated together, they have done so many, pranks together. But here, Arjuna is still considering that Krishna is his just friend, ordinary friend, like childhood friend, you know. And then he says, uh, since Krishna said that I will not do any fighting, he says that, all right, don't fight, but be my charioteer. Krishna agreed immediately. So he agrees to, now before fighting, he asks Krishna, you see, Krishna is Lord. He is asking Krishna to take the chariot in between the two armies. So Krishna is very merciful to his pure devotees. Why? Because he loves his pure devotees. So he was very kind and merciful to Arjuna also. And what he does, it was a request, but Krishna immediately complied. He took the chariot between the two armies and he accepted to be. That is why I just now mentioned, Krishna is infallible. Infallible means Akshara. He does not fall down from his position. Though he had taken the post of charioteer for Arjuna in this battlefield, he still remained the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Right? So he drew the chariot. Now, why Arjuna wanted to the chariot to be in the middle of between the two armies? Anyone? Mataji, Prabhuji, you have read everything in level 1. We are talking in it slightly more details now. What will you do? You know, there is a army formation. What a commander would like to know by going in the middle of the two formations. Anyone? Any way?
Strategy of defense factor.
And very nice.
Compare the strength of both the armies.
Very nice, Mataji. That is now. Arjuna wanted to assess the strength and power and formation of the opposite camp and evaluate it against his own army, right? He was a wise warrior. He wanted to know what is our strength, what is our weakness, and what is the strength and weakness of opposite army. And who all those people are who have come to fight on behalf of the Kauravas. He wanted to know that thing also. Because, he expected, of course, Bhishma Pitamaha to be there, Dronacharya to be there, Kripacharya to be there, Karna to be there. So many other cousins and brothers all were supposed to be there. So he wanted Lord Krishna to take the chariot in the middle between the two armies so that he can see that who all have come to, fight with our army, and he wanted to make sure that since Krishna is with us, we should be victorious. And Krishna is personally present as Rishikesha to direct his senses. I told you just now, Rishikesha means the controller of owner of senses. And Lord Krishna is the controller of senses of pure devotees. If pure devotee, he does not take any decision. Lord Krishna guides as sitting in the heart is Paramatma. So, and Lord Krishna here is guiding Arjuna. So that is why to guide him through success in this battle, he agrees to take to. So these are some of the signs of victory. Srila Mataji would like to read. Swayam Prabha Mataji, please unmute if you want to read. Anyone?
Signs of
Signs of victory for the Pandavas.
1 second, Prabhuji. The screen is clear.
Signs of victory for the Pandavas.
Yes.
Krishna's personal presence confirms victory. Supreme Personality of Godhead is the charioteer. 1.14. Jayastu Pandu Putranam Esham. Krishna as Rishikesha directly controls the sense of a pure devotee. 2. Goddess of Fortune. Whenever and wherever the Lord is present, the Goddess of Fortune is also there. She never lives without her husband. Therefore, all fortune is guaranteed. 1.14. 3. Venue. Kurukshetra is a holy place. 1.1. Effect of holy place on the war. 4. Hanumanji on Arjuna's flag. Hanumanji also helped Lord Rama in gaining victory. 1.20. 5. Symbol of Vishnu. Conch shell is a symbol of Vishnu. 1.12 and 1.14. This is indirectly indicated by Bhishma and Pandava's conch shells. 6. Transcendental conch shells. Krishna and Arjuna's conch shell mentioned as Divya, transcendental. 1.14. 7. Bhishma's conch shell to pacify Duryodhana. 1.12. 8. Agnideva's chariot given to Arjuna, capable of conquering all directions. 1.14. 9. Shattering of hearts. Conch shells of Pandavas shattered Kauravas' hearts. 1.19. Pandavas' hearts not shattered because of confidence of taking shelter of Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So these are 9 points which are indicating. There are a couple of many points also. I told you it was a day of Mokshadai Ekadashi, a very, very pious day of month, and when this battle took place. So every positive thing, all the auspicious things were there in the favor of Pandavas, so far as this victory is concerned. Now, Arjuna calls Lord as Achyuta. Achyuta, I just now told you, in Hindi or Sanskrit, it means Akshara, one who does not fall down from his position. And Lord Krishna, as I told you, is always transcendental. In whatever expansion form he appears, he is transcendental, not subject to any kind of change, not attached to any material nature, not attached to any material object. He is infallible, he is Akshara, he is Achyuta, he does not fall down from his position. Though he became almost a charioteer of Arjuna, though he carried out the orders of Arjuna, but he never fell down from his position of a supreme personality of Godhead. And Lord Krishna, out of love and causeless mercy, accepted position of charioteer. Love and causeless mercy for a pure devotee. He accepted the position of charioteer. And Lord Krishna takes pleasure in serving his unalloyed pure devotees. He takes pleasure in serving unalloyed pure devotees. He is always by the side of pure devotees. We'll come to learn more about it in later on. In any position, his supremacy is never challenged. Arjuna being pure devotee but has no desire to fight. He had no desire to fight. He didn't want, he just wanted 5 villages, no kingdom. Wanted to see how much the relatives were bent upon demanding an unwanted war. Pandavas didn't want a war. He wanted to see the supporters who wanted to please evil mind Duryodhana estimate their strength, not for peace proposal. He didn't go there in the middle for peace proposal. He just wanted, as just now Mataji mentioned, he wanted to estimate the strength of opposite party, and also he wanted to know who all have come to support evil-minded Duryodhana, who is on the path of irreligion. So this verse 24 to 27 mentions about Lord Krishna draws chariot in the middle of 2 armies. What happens? Gudakesha. Arjuna, we have already mentioned that Gudakesha means one who has conquered his sleep, and the sleep of ignorance. It does not mean physical sleep. One who conquers sleep of ignorance because being Krishna's friend. So Krishna was controlling his senses, Rishikesha, and also he was guiding his senses. Arjuna always thinking of Krishna. Similarly, devotees are in the form of a state of samadhi. And I told you the incident, a pastime when Krishna picked up a hair from the body of sleeping Arjuna, who was sleeping in his lap, and there was vibrations of sound of recitation of Krishna's name in that hair also. So he was always deeply involved, deeply devoted to Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna was Rishikesha because he understood the heart of Arjuna. Rishikesha means controller of senses, owner of senses, or controller of senses. Now Lord Krishna is present in the heart of Arjuna as Paramatma. So he is guiding him all the time. Then Partha, son of Prithu, Kunti, Arjuna being friend and son of Kunti, agreed to be charioted. Lord Krishna jokingly said, just behold, see the attention. Just behold, Lord Krishna jokingly said in verse number 25. This is the only place Krishna has spoken in chapter number 1. Krishna has been only doing Shravanam all through chapter number 1. And we will come to the second section tomorrow. We'll see that only Krishna is listening. And Shravanam of Nam Sankirtana or Nam Jap Nam is what is desired from us. So Lord Krishna jokingly said, oh, just behold, see the attention. See with attention who are there. Who he did not expect him to fight being son of Pritha. Arjun could see all kinds of relatives, friends, and well-wishers, or we'll come to it who were there. We know there were grandfathers, there were brothers, cousin brothers, there were sons of cousin brothers, there were relatives, there was Guru, there were Acharyas who were on the opposite camp. Grandfathers like Bhishma and Somadatta, teachers like Dronacharya and Kripacharya, maternal uncles like Shalya and Shakuni, and brothers like Duryodhana, sons like Lakshmana, friends like Ashwatthama, well-wishers like Kratvarma, and many other friends and relatives. Arjuna, seeing them all, is overwhelmed with compassion and thus spoke. So Arjuna here, he is considering all these people that they are there. So Daya and mercy in general, and Kripa is compassion for specific people. This is the difference between mercy and compassion. So we'll end today's section 1. Any doubts or questions, Mataji, Prabhuji, you are welcome to ask. And as I requested, please do read before you join the classes, because in the level 1, you just got the basic philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Here we are discussing in detail those philosophies. So unless you are already aware of what is mentioned in those slokas, you will not be able to follow them. So this is my very humble prayer to all of you. Any questions or doubts? I have posted the attendance link in chat box. Please fill in the form. And if there is any doubt or any question, please ask.
Prabhuji, just one request.
Yeah.
I have classes till 10 p.m. means 1 hour classes. I'm a student of MSc and I have opted Bhagavad Gita to study in detail.
Okay.
And seeing the timing only, I have joined the class
I'm
that
sorry
till
to-
8 a.m. So
Oh,
daily I'm missing the class. Now other
Okay.
class is going on. So
Okay.
it's just a humble request. We can
Okay.
start early. It's 6:30. If we can start, I'm ready for that. But not beyond the 8 o'clock. But because from that point of
No,
time
today
till
it was
9:45, I have class.
I understand, Mata, your problem. As I promised, it shall be at the most 8:10, otherwise not before. Because it was a lot of introductory things were there in the beginning. So
Yes,
this
yes.
time shall be saved from now onwards. So don't worry. You can fill in the form and attend the class, whatever is your schedule. Please continue. Any questions or any doubt?